I love when VHS tapes had stuff in it.
Yes.
Warner Brothers used to have points on the side of their boxes, and then like a brochure inside about other things you could get in the Warner Brothers collection.
Mm-hmm. Remember Little Giants came with stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. But dude, one tape. How do you feel about this?
No, I think that you've chosen wisely, as they say in Indiana Jones. No, that's a killer piece of movie history right there. That was a transition film from VHS to DVD, but not on 2 tapes. The technology was there to be on 1, but you probably just buy it on DVD. There'd be no reason to buy that tape.
No, none. But it just blows my mind. It blows my mind because this came out in 2002, I believe. So yeah, I was very happy to buy this because look at
1 tape.
I was like, Megan, you know Titanic. Everyone knows Titanic and Braveheart. Everyone had those 2 discs.
Yeah, those 2 tips. 2
Amazing,
tapes.
amazing.
All right. So coming up is the letterbox edition, because everybody knows that on VHS, it was most likely going to be formatted to fit my screen. They cut half my movie away.
4:3.
So this, Mark, is the letterbox edition of the story that touched the world. It is E.T.
Whoa.
And it's holographic.
Wow, THX too. Remember when THX came out?
Yeah. And I like to point out the Canadian sticker on the back.
Wow.
Or you call MCA, the Canadian number. It was rated G. So we rate things differently. So this movie was PG in the States, but Canada has its own rating system, and we rated it G.
Oh, and Letterboxd is right there.
Yeah. It's this was the very first not this version, but this movie was the very first VHS I ever owned. So for Christmas one year, we got a new TV, a VCR, and this movie.
Can you hold it long ways?
Today.
They're almost prepping you for the Letterboxd experience.
Yeah, hold it like this.
Yeah.
It's ready to go.
Yep. You're like, oh, there's some of the top cut off.
Now there's no stuff. There's no stuff in it. But look, we even have our own Canadian stickers on here that have the Canadian ratings on them.
Wow, they added extra stickers?
Well, no, it's a Canadian, like, it'll be different than the ET sticker you'll have on yours down in Atlanta.
That was a fancy VHS tape right there.
Right.
Letterboxd. That's a grab.
There you go.
I would have bought that. I would have picked it up. Oh man. Okay. So I'm gonna save that one for last.
Yeah, I've got one that I've got here for last too. My last poll.
So I have one that it's a bit of a cheat, but it brings back amazing memories because when I was younger, my friend had HBO, and so we would tape movies, right?
Yeah.
From HBO. And one movie that we taped and watched a lot was Under Siege. Now, what?
It's amazing. I have something to tell you when you're done telling me about this VHS tape.
And it's Die Hard on a battleship, which isn't really a compliment.
Is that movie Fox?
Warner Brothers. So
Warner Brothers is referring to its movie as a Fox movie.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
But it's a product of the time. The VHS landscape was like the Wild Wild West.
And there's a couple things that really caught me about this tape, too. And a lot of these this one has Dolby. The Lord of the Rings one has Dolby on the side. Dolby Surround.
Of course it does.
Wow, that one. But this one, what I like is that a lot of movies don't have. And what I seem to have noticed, even though I bought this, it says digitally processed on the side of the box. So it's digitally processed. It's Dolby Surround Stereo. It's color. It's 103 minutes VHS. It gives you everything you need to know on the side.
Right. It's because you look at the spine, you don't need to read the back.
Mm-hmm. And think about this. This thing gives you everything you need in the pictures. Okay? You have our boy, Stevie S. You have a gunfight. You have Gary B. And then you have a knife fight with a very dramatic Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah. It's incredible.
I watched this movie all the time as a kid.
Yeah.
It was a good action movie. Nice fights.
Great action movie.
But I saw it, and I was like, I know there's not fancy stuff on it. I do like the digitally processed, but I had to get it because this is probably one of the. It was. You just gotta watch. You know, when you're 15, you watch Under Siege.
So
no, not 15. When you're 9, you watch Under Siege.
So I told Mark about this already, but a friend of mine works at a school, and somebody donated to them boxes and boxes and boxes of DVDs. But because of our current situation, they can't do anything with them. So he's been giving them to me to go through and pick out what I want. Oh. And last night, boom, Under Siege.
That's amazing.
And I was like, yes, get to watch Under Siege. And I was very, very, very excited about it.
It just blows my mind. That's digitally processed. What does that? No, what does that mean?
Like you and I know film and kind of what's around that, but I don't know what digitally processed means. So the first person to comment on this video that can explain to us what digitally processed means will be sent a VHS prize from me. I will mail you a random VHS as a prize.
Oh my, yeah, please do. And I just want to show you something. I'm not cheating, but I already own these. But look at these that I had.
Yeah, those are fantastic. Fantastic. First, this pre-THX digitally remastered.
And we watched these before Force Awakens came out on VHS to get the
feel. Nostalgia happening. So it's funny when you said that Die Hard.
I have ET too.
Now is that the one that has green reels inside? If you open it up, is it green?
Yeah.
That's the one I had as a kid, the green one.
Dolby Surround, Hi-Fi. It's not digitally mastered.
Not digitally mastered. Digitally processed.
Imagine it being a kid. Well, you didn't get me the digitally processed one.
There was a few years when DVDs were first coming out that I would only buy a DVD player that had DTS, digital theater sound.
Yeah.
And it's like otherwise, why bother?
Don't need it. Don't want it.
When the back of Under Siege said Die Hard on a Boat, I remember as a kid I had the VHS for Masters of the Universe starring Dolph Lundgren, and it said the Star Wars of the 80s. And I was like, but I thought that was Empire Strikes Back.
Lots of action.
So my second one, and again, it's as in minty shape, or my third one, I guess, is in as minty shape as
The Shadow?
As The Shadow, is the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Wow.
Look at that. That mirror shine on it.
What? Where are you finding these?
Canada. Now, here's the thing. The reason I love this is because this is still called Raiders of the Lost Ark. Because after a certain point in time, like about 94, it became Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Whoa.
When they put all those VHSs out in like 96, and it was a 4-pack. It was one episode of Young Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And then they rebranded. So this is pre the rebrand where it was still just called Raiders of the Lost Ark. So that's why I picked this one. A couple interesting notes. This one in the United States of America is rated PG, but in Canada is rated 14A. So a little bit stricter. We want to protect our Canadian youth from watching these violent Nazi movies.
It has a Roger Ebert poll on it too.
Yeah. Roger Ebert's quote was the most incredible series of action and stunt set pieces I've ever seen in a movie.
Wow.
Ever seen in a movie, Mark.
That is glossy.
Yeah, no, it's
Raiders.
This one belongs in a museum.
It belongs in a museum.
Belongs in a museum.
But don't take the tape out. I don't want to melt.
No, but look at that poster art. That you don't see that. You don't see painted poster art anymore.
Mm-mm.
And I think it was better. This is better.
Beautiful. Man, and with the title. That's a collector's item right there.
Yeah, no. So that's my third choice is Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's beautiful. I have some that might make you jealous. Never been opened. But I just want to show you something really neat. I found Star Trek the motion picture special longer version.
12 minutes of new footage.
12 minutes. When VHS, you would get a music video, like Batman Forever, you'd have a Kiss video or something. This is 12 minutes of extra footage in there. This is the director's cut. And it's quality at its peak. This new
It
low
looks
price
thicker
cassette.
than a regular VHS. Is it thicker?
No. Maybe it still has the plastic on it.
Okay, it just looked like it was thicker, like it had a manual or something in there.
Now, listen to this. This new low price cassette is manufactured in full speed SP mode with the same superior tape and to the same quality standards as all Paramount programs. This is the Paramount promise. But it was not, there's nothing digitally about it. So.
No,
but that.
So here's two things, Mark. Two things
Yes.
about that tape. Star Trek The Motion Picture was the first VHS tape I ever bought with my own money.
Wow.
And I paid $29 for it.
Yes.
It was that exact tape. So much nostalgia just came over top of me right now, seeing this 12 extra minutes. And then I watched it, and I was like, they should have took out 12 minutes. It is a long, boring movie. If any movie does not need to be 12 minutes longer, it's that one. But I was so proud because I had a paper route, and I saved up my money. It was the first movie that I bought myself.
And Megan saw this one, by the way. She gave me an assist.
But that's okay. Two shall become one, and you're out there hunting, and you got your lady with you. That's fantastic.
I was dragging her along.
I said a nice thing about Megan. You're like, yeah, she was there.
Oh, she's the best. She's the one who found it. Megan, she was the one digging through the bins. I was on a natural high from Under Siege. I didn't even look at stuff.
Hey,
I was like, let's go. I was like,
I have three of five. You don't need any more. I got Under Siege.
But you know what's interesting about this one? It requires hi-fi stereo playback. Requires stereo hi-fi VCR.
Otherwise, it just has no sound. Or it'll sound bad.
Yeah.
Kind of like if you buy a 4K Blu-ray, you can watch it on a 720 TV, but why would you?
Exactly.
Right?
Look at this, though. Jeez Louise.
No, that belongs in a museum.
There's no time on it, though. Doesn't say how long it is. That's probably it kept people from buying it, or kept people from that's that long. I'm not buying that.
No, I think if I remember correctly, it's 2 hours and 5 minutes. I think that's the runtime, but I could be wrong. No, 225. I think it's 225.
And on one tape back in the day.
On one tape.
It's pretty fancy, isn't it?
No, that's like all the things they were bragging about weren't film quality. It wasn't like you'll enjoy this movie. It's like it'll be clear, it'll sound good, it'll be a little longer than usual. Nothing about the story. No Roger Ebert saying it's the best action piece he's ever seen.
They said 1989 for this.
89.
Because this is a 1980 movie.
Right. So I think that the original release was actually on Betamax. I think Paramount stuff was with the Betamax company.
Wow. This is a good poll. I'm very happy with my polls.
I'm very, very impressed. Now this, Mark, okay, so I'm gonna do a thing here in a second, which is a bit of a mind bend. All right. Now this is a special edition Warner Brothers release of Enter the Dragon.
Whoa.
Bruce Lee. All right. So special features include a 1973 behind-the-scenes documentary, location Hong Kong with Enter the Dragon, original theatrical trailer, an exclusive all-new documentary, Bruce Lee in his own words, and an introduction by Linda Lee.
Oh my gosh. How's that all fit?
This movie is 102 minutes. The extras are 34 minutes.
I mean,
at the bottom here, and extras.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Extra 34 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow. VHS tapes rarely did that.
No, I think this was like the beginning of we're going to try and do something different. We want to stand. I think Warner Brothers was trying to stand out above the Fox selection.
Premiere series?
So I think when Warner Brothers did a special edition, they were like, we're going to make it a special edition. Now, here's something that's neat. Raiders of the Lost Ark in the States is rated PG. In Canada, 14A.
Interesting.
So it's saying that it's actually more restriction is needed on this movie than the company put out there. This movie, rated R in the States, in Canada, 14A.
Whoa.
So it did a flip-flop. It said we need less.
That's interesting.
So it's a little bit interesting.
34 minutes of extras. That's bonkers.
Yeah. And now why I liked No, not why I liked. Why I thought Warner Brothers did a cool thing that everybody else didn't do is they didn't have stick